Hello, Clay here, and I just wanted to start by saying Meet Kevin is completely wrong on one of his solar videos, and I'll explain why. In 2010, I had a leaky roof, some weather damage. I had my insurance company come out, they took a look at it, and granted me service, so I started looking at the price of getting my roof repaired. So I had about $2,500 in the bank, and I decided that I was going to find somebody to do the roofing, but add the solar to the roofing at the time, and I would help them. I did find that roofer, and with the $2,500 I bought X amount of panels. 10 was the number. I wanted to buy more, but the shipping on the panels was just way too much. So I got 10 panels. In phase was the inverters, and I noticed in one of the Kevin's videos he had pictures of that. And I know it's a California company, so, but hands down, by far, there they are, the best to add on to. And I agree, you don't want to add too much, but I just kept adding and adding because I had space, and these brackets were here, and the roofing was done. But once I got done with this, I said, well, how do I get rid of the gas bill? I got rid of my electric bill. I got up to like $168 rebate for the year, or refund, return. The meter on the side of the house, by the way, is separate. So at the time it's $17, I believe. And they didn't let me buy the meter. They didn't let me do anything with the meter. So what I did was I started calling around, what about electric heat? I was trying to educate myself and look up things online. Can I use electric heat? Can I use, what type of heat? And finally I got a hold of one of my electric company experts, essentially. And he said, have you ever heard of geothermal? And I said, no, what is that? Can you explain that to me? You're welcome to look that up. What it is, in a nutshell, is a ground loop system. Not like the geothermal that people call that today. It's basically a line that runs down into the earth, and that's where you get your heat or cool from. It's both heat and cool. It's a whole furnace. It looks like a gas furnace, but it's all combined into one compressor type unit with a pump. And that's basically what I went through. I started with 10 panels. This is probably the most useful thing. You can get a loan similar to a car as far as the price, a used car. But what you can do, what I did, is I got basically what money I saved up, I bought the panels I could. I started with that. Yeah, I know that was 30% at the time was the rebate. And I know 30% of $3,000, $2,500, $1,500, whatever dollars you spend is not as much as if you were to buy the whole system and get the large rebate then. But I couldn't afford it. So what I did was I got the 10 panels. I started with that. I then opened a second checking account through my credit union, which a lot of people, I'm not sure if you know you can do that or not, but you can open a second checking account a lot of times through the second credit union. And what I did was I kept adding to that second account as I was paying what I would for electricity on the savings. So for instance, if my bill was $125 typically during that month from the past year, and it turned out to be $90 or $95, what I would do is put that balance into my second checking account, and that basically was set aside for solar. And as I built up money in that account with other savings in addition, because I wanted to try to make it as fast as possible, and the rebate from the first year, I added to that to add more panels. Eventually, I got to where I was having a $168 check annually. And that was great, but I was like, how do I get rid of my gas bill? How do I do that? So that's where the geothermal came in. And what I did is I started saving up for that once I built up to 49 panels, I believe. That's all I could put on that leg or run on that system for my roof area. And so now to drill the geothermal, that's a whole nother story. That's the most expensive part. It's at the time is roughly about $10,000 to $12,000. So what I did was I found a guy, Dan Rao, and thank you, Dan, Colorado State Geothermal Geothermal Drilling, and he agreed to do this basically the day after Christmas that year, and I needed it done later in the year so I could get the rebate from the geothermal to pay him. And I know this is a lot to think about ahead of time, but once I got that done, the geothermal is probably the most amazing system. So what I disagree with is limiting the size, or never overbuild your system. If I wouldn't have overbuilt a system, I wouldn't have looked into the geothermal or discovered the geothermal. So that's basically the moral of the story and why I disagree with Kevin. Currently, I rent that is my rental property, one of my rental properties, and that benefit of having perfect temperature all year round is extremely valuable, extremely useful for the tenants. They love it. One day we had about 107, 108 degree day weathers temperature here in where I'm at, and I did some roofing to upgrade some of the solar parts, and I came inside. I was like, wow, it is cold in here. 63 degrees is what they had it set to. And then, yeah, we keep it cool. We like it that way. Okay. And do what you like. Geothermal can do that. Air conditioner in here, low humidity, you're not going to get down to 63 degrees. No way. So there's benefits to that. It also can do the opposite, much hotter than what you would expect in the wintertime. We previously, when we stayed there, when we lived with our family, my wife likes it warm. We had it about 75 to 78 degrees all year, all winter time. In the summer, it's kind of opposite that. We got it down, 70-ish, 72. But that's why. And remember, belief is extremely powerful, especially to those who believe. Take it. And that's why I disagree with Kevin. So thank you for watching, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe, and share with your family. Take care.